Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I am Sean Anderson, Most Valuable Podcast, and the upcoming segment is from our full Fast Break podcast that we recorded. And if you do want to check out that full podcast, head over to Blog Talk Radio/The Fast Break. You'll be able to find the full podcast over there. But anyways, let's move on to the Los Angeles Lakers. Magic Johnson just recently came out and said Brandon Ingram is only untouchable player on the Lakers roster. And the question we're going to be posing is, how do the Lakers build around Brandon Ingram? Because obviously they have a lot of pieces there, but what are the pieces that are going to stay? What are the pieces that you think are going to go? What are the pieces you think are they going to come? We talked about Paul George, Lonzo Ball, possibly moving D'Angelo Russell, where Jordan Clarkson is going to go. So looking at all this, Ricky, who do you think is going to be around when the Lakers finally or hopefully should be making the playoffs? And who do you think is going to be gone, looking at this whole Laker team?
The two observations I make from this statement are, number one, I think the first man out, per se, would be D'Angelo Russell. And the second thing that I think of is that unless Boston shocks us and says, no, you know what, we want Lonzo Ball, that the Lakers are going to draft Lonzo Ball and make him the point guard to Brandon Ingram. And I mean, I'm no shock that Brandon Ingram's the only untouchable on this team, because really, what else do you have? You have nobody that I'd look at and go, man, this guy is a real untouchable. Like the rest of them, I am in total agreement with Magic Johnson. Yeah, I want Brandon Ingram, the guy that we drafted last year. Whatever you guys want, make an offer. Show me how much you want him, and we'll make a deal.
But I mean, at that point, like, where is your team going? I mean,
where are they going right now? This is a team that
you've got four guys under the age of like 26 who all have pretty good talent, who are all drafted fairly high in the first round for a reason. And maybe they're still going to get their time to play.
Well, I mean, there are three players that are. I mean, you look at Julius Randle, Lonzo Ball, if you draft him, Brandon Ingram, and D'Angelo Russell. Those guys are all under 22. And then you look at Jordan Clarkson. That guy was a second rounder. So I mean, he's like the old man on that team. So looking at that, Dave, like who do you think will be moving? Who do you think will be going when it's all said and done and we see the Lakers finally in the playoffs after all this?
Oh God, I mean that's hard, man. That's going to be a couple years away.
But how did they get there is what we're saying.
I don't know. I'm not a freaking magician. I'm going to pull out of my hat my hatred for Julius Randle then. I'll just go back on my laurels. I'll rest on my laurels here and be like,
you know the guy who doesn't fit?
You know the guy who doesn't fit this team? It's Julius Randle. You know why? Because Paul George is going to be playing power forward for them. Makes sense.
Playing power forward for him.
See, I agree with you there that Paul George is probably going to end up being a Laker, and I think you're going to end up having a
I honestly think you can keep the rest of these guys, though.
Well, besides Julius Randle is what you're saying. I think the two pieces that will be moved, if any, I think Jordan Clarkson and then Julius Randle. I don't think D'Angelo Russell is going to end up being moved. I wouldn't be shocked if he was end up moved, but I looked at the future LA Laker lineup to be Lonzo Ball at the 1, D'Angelo Russell at the 2, Brandon Ingram at the 3. Then you look at Paul George as the 4, and then 5 you can either go with their boy Zubac. Or if they do trade Julius Randle and are able to get something, at least out of a pick, then maybe a future pick, and that whoever they draft at that pick, because you look at their future and the future draft picks, there is none in LA. I mean, they pretty much all of them are gone. They don't have a first round pick after this year, because I think next year it goes to Philly, and the year after that it goes to Orlando or something like that. So you really can't rebuild through the draft anymore. So Lonzo Ball is pretty much going to be your last draft pick. If they end up taking Lonzo Ball, it's pretty much going to be your last draft pick that you can at least build on, and then you're going to have to go at least to free agency or something like that.
And that's another reason why I feel like there's two reasons why I feel Magic Johnson said this. Number one, when you think about it, Magic Johnson's coming in, and to me, if I was coming in, I have no loyalty to any of the guys on the roster, because let's be honest, I didn't draft you, I didn't sign you, I didn't pick you. But the thing with Brandon Ingram you got to think of is who on this coaching staff in this organization did go ahead and pick him. Luke Walton was on here, and of course they're going to talk to Luke Walton because he's the one coaching the team, and they got to find players that'll fit his system. I think this is a move where the Lakers are basically saying, hey, you know what? Brandon Ingram's the only untouchable. If they can get some picks for that, then that's what I think this is. It's you look at it and it goes, we don't have our first next year because it goes to Philadelphia. We need to get some picks. Maybe if it's even just one. If we can move a Julius Randle, we can move either both him and Russell for a first. If we can get something to get a first-round pick next year, because this Laker team, you're trying to rebuild it. And like you said, unless something weird happens of they don't feel like they want to make the pick for Lonzo, or if the Celtics go, fuck it, we're going to go and pick Lonzo, they're most likely going to get Lonzo Ball. They will have Brandon Ingram, but next year it's like, we don't get a first-round pick. We need one if we want to continue the build.
Well, and Dave, looking at all this, because it's kind of weird, because he said that they're untouchable, but should any of them be moved, really? Because you brought it up. It's really, you really think Julius Randle should be the only one being moved, but is it more of Magic saying this because D'Angelo Russell could be moved, but we're not looking into it?
I feel like it's a message to the other owners in the league. We're open to offers. Go ahead and toss something out there. We'll see what we can do. I mean, the biggest thing is, like you mentioned, Clarkson. Clarkson's on a great contract for the next couple of years. Mm-hmm. I think that's a ton of value to another team and to the Lakers. So you have some guy who's easily one of the better 6 men in the league on a reasonable contract at 11 mil, 12 mil, 13 mil.
And you can use that as leverage.
Huge leverage.
In talks. We're giving you someone that has a fucking good contract.
Yeah, the biggest problem is, you said free agency. Well, Deng and Mozgov, enough said. They got screwed over there, and I don't know how they're going to recoup their losses with that. So, honestly, they might have to package some of the more talented guys with a contract eater just to get some value back so they can go out and do something in free agency. But I love the young core, and I really want to see them play out more, because it's one of those things where you're pulling the ripcord on year 3, but you haven't even seen, everything kind of come to full bloom.
You're still adding pieces.
And that's the thing. Like, I liked what I saw out of Brandon Ingram's first year. I mean, he's not the dominant scorer that people wrongly assumed he would be because of, his size comparisons to someone like Kevin Durant. No, but he's a great... He has really good defensive skill. He's just got like a natural intuition for where to be as far as how to stop other people. But I think you just have to let these young guys play out and play together.
Going back to Brandon Ingram and the way you saw him grow, what's the next step in his game? Is it adding size, because we see the skinny,
it's bulking up,
tiny dog of him?
Yeah, God damn you.
Tiny dog.
Just for reference, Dave, we were in between recording. He's like, did you guys know that Brandon Ingram's nickname was Tiny Dog? That's so adorable. It was pretty funny, just out of nowhere. But
Thank you.
How does Tiny Dog go into Big Dog?
TD.
How does he challenge Roman Reigns in his yard?
Because Brandon Ingram wants to be the top dog.
No,
Big dog.
He's just pretty much gotta go on that In-N-Out burger diet pretty much. I think all summer, hit the gym a ton. That combination right there should knock him.
So the Chad Ochocinco diet of I'm gonna eat a double cheeseburger, then run a 40.
Yeah, I mean pretty much he just needs to work out a ton and eat more. I mean I kind of weirdly didn't see him grow a ton throughout the year as far as his size wise. I mean basketball year. You're traveling a lot, and it's a lot of cardio. So guys usually end up losing a lot of weight during the year from where they start off. So he's got to get on that
Deion Waiters diet.
Yes, he does.
So
I think he bulks up, and if he can get a more comfortable shot, because that he had it in short spurts, but it never looked like he was really comfortable with his motion, and it changed 3 different times that I noticed from the start to the end of the year.
That was the one thing I wanted to bring up, because we saw this guy as a shooter, as a scorer, and you look at at least his 3-point percentage, and you're like, yikes, at 29%. So is it something that maybe, bringing in Alonzo Ball, bringing in a guy that can get you more open looks, getting a guy that can make you feel more comfortable, do you think that will help Brandon Ingram's progression more?
No, I mean, obviously, if you give anyone better looks, it's like the LeBron James effect. I mean, same with the Warriors, Steph Curry. It's anytime you have more ball movement, you're going to find the open shooter. You're going to create better shots for them. So bringing in someone like Lonzo Ball, who, is going to pull a little bit of attention his way, because I'm sure he'll come in the league as a rookie and draw plenty of attention on his own.
I mean, he could still go to the rim, Lonzo. He's not a good shooter, but he's still a good
and he can still drop it from 3. So, I mean, he has the potential to make great passes. And you set up Brandon Ingram for better looks. I mean, the problem this year was after they moved Lou, they really didn't have an offensive identity. And I feel like they're going to get into the swing of things. I think that as a team, they're going to, again, try to spread that out, get more towards the 3-point shooting line again, because that just kind of seems like the motion of the NBA now. So I think we're going to see some tweaks as far as his game is concerned. But as far as the entire Lakers team is concerned, I almost don't want to touch it, but I think Randall is the odd man out regardless.
So then, Ricky, looking at this, I mean, obviously, Dave's talking about Randall. How does Lonzo and then are Lonzo and Brandon Ingram the pieces then, and does D'Angelo Russell kind of get pushed to the side then?
That's in my mind, and it's because I'm not. When we're looking at kind of going back to what you started the entire segment on, is when you said when the Lakers get back to what we're assuming is what they want to, playoff runs, who's going to be there? I don't see D'Angelo Russell being a part of that.
No.
And the reason being is the one thing that you mentioned was you kind of thought out your starting five with PG-13 because he's going to come over in free agency. We're just waiting on it.
Yeah.
And my starting five would actually be, I would go Lonzo at the 1, PG-13 at the 2, then Ingram, and then have either Randall or Nance at the 4 with Zubac at the 5. I think that's what it becomes instead of having D'Angelo Russell and PG-13 at the 4.
Dave, thoughts on PG-13 at the 2?
I'm just going to say that, Ricky, I disagree with you respectfully. As much as I can, respectfully.
It would be weird seeing Paul George, who is that. I think Brandon Ingram is more of a fit there at the 2, just because with his speed, with his length, with his size, I think that might be a better.
Let's put it
there.
This way: the 5 that I just laid out, that's your starting 5. Put them wherever you want.
So Randall, Zubac, PG-13, Ingram, and
Randall
Lonzo.
or Nance, whichever one you like better. Because I know that you two are divided on that.
Yeah.
No, well, Dave just doesn't like Randall, and we both.
I know Nance is a great six
man. We both think Nance is not even. Yeah, Nance
he's a role player.
bench player. Yeah,
he's a role player.
I think ultimately you look at this and the way that this team's going to develop. It's going to be interesting to see who they take at 28 with that Rockets pick and where they go with that direction. If they do go power forward, try to add some more depth there. If they do go center, adding depth behind Zubac. Or if they could go shooting.
They could go shooting. I think that's fairly likely. I kind of like D'Lo moving over to the 2. I think
he's a scorer.
He is, and it comes natural to him. And I feel like he tries to step up in this situation. He gets a little caught up with the game, but he's a young kid. Like he'll learn to pace himself.
He feels like he's got a little rust into me. Like he's got a lot of rust to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's D'Angelo Russell, like the in his actual name, but he's got a lot of hero ball in him.
I'm going to pose this out to you.
Yeah.
What if the Lakers go, and right now I'm looking at Tankathon, and they've got Jonathan Genet, I hope I said the name right, from France going.
Yeah, he's like 7 feet tall or something. He's crazy lengthy.
But the thing I look at, and this is all based on Tankathon's mock, the next shooting guard that they could take that would be available, a guy that you're really high on, a guy that you have given your Malcolm Brogdon award to.
Josh Hart wouldn't fit with that team.
Could they go in and say, you know what, we're gonna take Lonzo early, we're gonna take the shooting guard here, and then Julius Randle is the guy we're keeping, D'Lo's the one we're gonna move.
The only reason I like that is because of Josh Hart's defensive ability, but I don't think he's enough of a scorer to hide Lonzo's flaws scoring. And then you look at Brandon Ingram. Can he really develop into that scorer? I mean, we see the spurts, we see the ability, we see his ability to attack the basket, but is he going to be able to step into that? I think you got to go some part of scoring, whether that's down lower or shooting from the outside.
Unless you're just waiting for PG-13 to sign, and boom, there's your scoring.
But then again, you can't rely on one guy, so it's going to be interesting to see where this Lakers team go. Lakers team. Yeah, Lakers team go.
Well, Lakers team. I mean, the Clippers are kind of like their D-League team.
But is it Lakers team go or Lakers team goes? Lakers team goes. Anyways, we're not going to get into grammar here. Final thing that I have to ask you. I said last year, 2 to 3 years, Lakers will be in the playoffs. Dave, over, under 2 to 3 years?
I mean, I'll probably take 3 years. Yeah, I think 3 is spot on still with me.
Ricky?
Depends on Lonzo's development. I'm going to go with a push as well at 3.
All right, fair enough. I'm iffy on the 2 to 3 years, to be honest with you. Tell us when you think it's
going to take longer.
Yeah, tell us when you think the Lakers will end up making it to the NBA playoffs. I think our camera just died, but oh well. Where's the end of the video? So tell us where you think the Lakers are going to end up, and how long will it be until they make the playoffs? Also, don't forget to tell us who you think is going to win the NBA Finals and in how many games, and also, go down and mention about CP3 going to the Spurs if you think it's going to happen. If you're listening on Block Talk Radio, thank you so much for giving us that download, helping us out over there. We really, really appreciate it. If you haven't checked out, go to blogtalkradio.com/thefastbreak. Also, if you're listening on YouTube, we had one of our biggest months in May, and we got to give you a huge shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys rock. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You guys are the best. We love doing this for you every single week. Thank you so much for listening. For Dave Oster, Ricky Widmer, I'm Sean Anderson. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Oh, shit. It's just one of our videos scared me a little bit. Don't forget to check out that one. And also don't forget to check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. But thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.